Gosh, I wish there was more to Kawaii Deathu Desu than there currently is, because right now, as it stands, there is quite a bit of good, but also a lot that needs to be fixed or altered for the game to be as good as it could be. Let's talk about the story, or the unfortunate lack thereof. The premise of the game is something that I adore and have been wanting to see more of for a while. Demonic anime waifus who sacrifice their fans to try and win the throne to the underworld? Awesome. I've been waiting for this. But one of the very first problems that arose was when you realize that there is no indication of the story set up anywhere in the game. No cutscene, no stills, and not even a text splash screen to tell you this. No, I got all that from the game's store page. I love the premise a ton, I just wish that it was expanded to the point of this being mentioned inside the game. The lack of narrative also extends to the characters, because outside their name and a unique quote, we know nothing about them other than they are cute and sinisterly sweet. Each of the girls looks wonderful, and completely unique and distinct from one another, and I liked how each girl was designed. Their human and supernatural forms were a fun contrast to each other, and I was happy to see that you could unlock different costumes to buy for each girl, fitting their personality. Sadly, I only managed to unlock 3 out of the 6 girls that you can get, but I will discuss that more in the gameplay and problems department, which we have just arrived at since there really isn't any more story to talk about. The game is the definition is simple. You have 2 buttons, one for attacking left and one for attacking right, and all you need to do is mow down wave after wave of obsessive fans to kill them and collect their souls. Now honestly, the simplicity of the game isn't bad, and the gameplay is really addictive for how it plays out. The feeling of cutting down a handful of fans in one swift move is fantastic, and pulling off a skillful dodge is great. However, for as addicting as the gameplay may be, it really does devolve into just plain button mashing, and this ended up really hurting my fingers having to hammer down the arrow keys. The mouse is another control option, but I found it to be too slippery and not attack in the direction I wanted it to most of the time. Now you may just be saying I should have used the controller, and I sure tried to, but sadly the attacks are mapped to the bumpers instead of the triggers. And if you've ever used an Xbox One gamepad, you know that the bumpers are as uncomfortable as they come. This wouldn't have been an issue, but sadly you are not able to change these or any of the other controller layouts at all in the game. If you had the ability to remap the keys or buttons, that would be one of my major issues completely scrubbed away. After you collect enough souls during the round, you can unleash a character-specific super move that helps you in clearing out fans more easily. Things like a screen-clearing scythe, a graveyard that locks you in place but allows you to clear large amounts of enemies in single blows, and a projectile-like attack, to name a few. While I do wish that there was more to the gameplay in either the form of more power-ups or attack combos, the way it is handled here is still a lot of fun, mainly due to how much carnage you can wreak against your enemies. Speaking of those who you'll be fighting in the game, you will essentially be fighting the same 3 enemy types in each location, just with a different coat of paint and progressively raising health bars. You have the standard guys, the quick girls who can dodge your attacks the first time you throw punches, and the heavier set guys who take more damage. When you start to near the end of each round, different colors of clothing will indicate if the enemy has more health. I feel as though there could have been more variety in the enemies, but as it is, the lineup you fight your way through isn't bad. Only real problem was that sometimes I would oddly receive damage even though I had killed everyone in my way. That wasn't a constant thing that happened though. The one major thing that eclipses any other problems I might have had with this game, the grinding. Good lord, the grinding is easily the worst and most infuriating part of the game. To unlock anything ranging from new characters to new skins or whatever else, you have to grind levels repeatedly to even make a dent into possibly getting something new. If they changed the game to either give you more souls after beating each level, or at least make playing the hard and endless modes more worth your time, this wouldn't be so much of an issue, but right now, it's just tedious and not fun at all to do the same level over and over and over again in hopes of getting just a few more souls to level up or buy something new. What makes this even worse is by locking characters behind high soul walls, it makes it so I just want to upgrade my current character and never try anyone else. I ended up only unlocking 3 of the girls in the end, and only really used the one I spent the most points on, rarely ever using any of the other girls. I managed to buy 2 alternative costumes for 2 of the different girls, but that's just because it ended up being less expensive than trying to save up for a new level up, since later level ups are stupidly expensive for each character. Honestly, if they changed to having the girls be unlocked after each stage, or every 2 stages, that would be a much better system, as I wouldn't mind saving up my money to level up the girl I had the most fun playing as. But as it stands, I just recommend sticking with the second girl you can buy, the zombie one, since she is the quickest and deals the most damage, in rapid succession. I also disliked that leveling up was a requirement for playing later stages. Instead of just you being able to use your skill in game, enemies would just rush you and easily overtake you and end your run in seconds due to your lower level. Oh, and before I forget, there are essentially 3 game types that are basically all the same thing. The first being the normal mode that you play through a few times each stage to unlock the next, a harder ranked mode, and an endless mode. Sadly, none of these seemed good for grinding at all, so I just recommend sticking with normal. The game's visuals are definitely one of the high points, with each of the 3 enemy types having a distinct look for each region, that being Japan, China, and the US, and naturally the main girls being devilishly adorable as they are. I love that the girls have 2 forms and change when they are either performing or attacking and turning into their true form. The attack animations were great and had a real feel to each slash, and I was quite happy to see that there was mild gore with each kill you got, along with vaporization and a few other types of graphic deaths for your enemies. Each of the locations you visited were colorful and fitting of the 3 different countries you would come to visit. My favorite stage was the one that changed depending on which girl you were playing as, with their big face being displayed in the background. The music was decent, and I enjoyed what I heard, when I could hear it. Sadly though, it was overshadowed by the characters' grunts and screams, so I wasn't really able to hear as much as I'd like to, but I still liked what there was to listen to. There was one sound effect that made me scowl every time I heard it, and it's that obnoxious anime wannabe sound every YouTuber uses, and I just despise it. Other than that one sound effect though, nothing grated on me, thankfully. And with all that said, there is a lot of potential to have a great bite-sized game here, and you know what? From the sounds of it, they are going to try to make it that way. The devs said there are going to be a lot of free updates to the game, and if they start ironing out the issues I have brought up here and introducing more content, then honestly, you have a really fun game on your hands. As it stands, the game is fun, but has a lot of problems in its current state. If you're looking for an enjoyable, addictive time killer, then this may be the game for you. If the quirks of the game so far are a bit too much for you, I can honestly understand you not wanting to pick it up in its current state. If the bad is patched and smoothed out, I will update everyone and definitely give you the recommendation to give it a play. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider sharing with your friends or checking out my Patreon linked in the description below. A huge thank you to the devs of the game, Pippin Games, for sending me a review copy to talk about on the show. If you have any comments or requests, please leave them down below as I read and reply to everything. Until next time, this is Thierry signing off until the next video. See you guys!